to care about their own properties.
All right, so
Right,
now,
so we're
Sylvia,
more
now we're
focused-
officially started. If you would like to start
we're
over.
more focused for the cleanup. We're more focused on the public areas. We're not doing anyone's private yards. We're doing the public. So along the train tracks on G Street, anywhere.
You don't need to clean, you mean going on the train track property?
It's next
Next
to
to
the
the
street. We've done it many times. So
And this is both 2 days?
yeah, it's
29th
just 2
and
days
30th?
for 2 hours
Just
each
2
time.
hours each time.
Yeah, we've done this before many times. And so it's not just on G Street. We comb through every street. Any letter that's
in the neighborhood. So
it can be
people
also-
might follow.
I can
Yeah.
see having walked
So-
around, they don't, they throw it out on the road, in the alleyways. You've gotta get people to care about where they live.
Okay, so I want to start off this meeting with a positive attitude. I think that's really important among
Well-
neighbors. So one thing that we have noticed is, okay, the streets are not clean, so why don't we come together and do it and like have that positive attitude and
Well, Sylvia,
you
I'm
know,
gonna tell you, I
and-
clean up every day I walk.
right.
I
So
pick up trash every day.
So I appreciate that you do that. And I'm sorry to hear that there is still more trash after you've cleaned it up. That's unfortunate. And if you see anyone who does it, call code
I'm just saying, we need
or
to.
just let your neighbor know, hey, don't throw.
All participate, not just the 5 people, 6 adults sitting in this room.
Right. So usually, the last cleanup we had over 30 people, and we picked up over 500 pounds of garbage. So even though it's being announced at this meeting, and this is all you see, there's been definitely a reach out to different nonprofits and schools. Like Highland Elementary is very involved. Lakewood High is very involved. Even private schools like American Heritage, they send their students. So that's how we were PBA. Even like people like the Jehovah Witness. I didn't even invite them, but they came.
Well, they care about their community.
Yeah, somehow they knew. I mean, I've been trying to spread the word, so I guess somehow it reached them.
So we're also promoting it on YouTube?
So it just, I just encourage everyone to share and just do the best we can. It's not a perfect world, so it is disappointing to see trash again after you picked it up, and that's just kind of the world we live in. So I know
Doesn't have to be.
all you can do is, notify your neighbor or notify code enforcement. That's what they're there for. So, but we usually do like 2 cleanups twice a year, and this is we do one in October, and we do one usually around March, April for Earth Day. Do you guys have any questions about this? Also on the same day, we're gonna do gardening. So if you look at the location, it's Tropical Ridge Fitness Park. So the Tropical Ridge Fitness Park has like little garden beds, and Carolyn is in charge of that project, and she's gonna bring native plants and everything. So Carolyn, would you like to speak about that and just tell people? We're also gonna do the gardening on the 29th and the 30th. So some people are gonna do cleanup, some people are gonna do gardening. Just depends what they want to do, what they volunteer. Hi Elaine, welcome. Just don't forget to sign in, Elaine. Thank you.
Great. You want to use this?
Alright, so Carolyn, you want to talk about the garden?
I hate microphones. Okay, so I had hoped that, I don't know how many of you know Richard Stowe, he's really a Florida native fanatic, and I am not. But for this we need Florida natives because it's in an area that doesn't have any water at the moment. I got to talk to the city came over to the area, and they said that they would provide water in the form of the vehicle that goes around and waters downtown. I'm not sure what you call that thing. It has water in a big can. So they will do that once a week, so we will have some water, but it's going to be limited. So I went ahead and made a list, which if you want I can provide with you, of some drought-tolerant Florida native plants, small because they're going to go in front of some bushes, so we don't want them to grow too big. These are all maximum 4 feet, most of them are 2 feet. I was hoping someone would help me pick, because like I said, I'm not a Florida native person.
Have you reached out to Dave Kruger?
Yeah,
Yeah, we talked to him.
I talked to him. He's the one that gave me the name of the gentleman who's in charge of,
The water? A good person to contact is Jenny Powell.
we had her here, but she's not the one that was, oh, for this? We had her here. Good. Let me write that down.
She's,
Yeah, we had her. She's really
she's a
good.
master gardener.
Yeah, I saw her last week at the local meeting.
Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Okay, Jenny Powell, I will contact her. I can send her a list.
She might be a good, she's a master gardener, and
Yeah,
I think she could help you real quickly with that one.
that's really what I want, just to read it out,
Yeah,
so we can have like 6 or 8 different plants. Probably,
Nice seeing you,
and max
They're
2,
saying
3
it
different
too.
in each bed. You know how big the beds are.
I know how big the beds are.
3 in each bed.
You mentioned these to keep these on the small side because they would be with bushes.
So we don't have to trim them.
Are the bushes gonna be in the planters?
The bushes are already there.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'll be with you. The bushes, I'm thinking of the beauty berries, and there's a couple of other things there, and they are 5 feet, 6 feet bushes. So they're not even in the beds, they're in the background, but the beds should be kept small.
Yeah.
Because we won't have anybody in there trimming. I'm not
Agreed.
taking care of them.
Agreed. So not to get into the weeds on this, but yeah, if we maybe talk to Jenny or
Yeah, that's a
Richard,
good idea.
there, I would keep it really simple.
Yeah.
And even a couple of these I'm familiar with. They're like blanket flower. It's something that puts on, it's really beautiful, puts on an amazing show, and at the end of the summer, it's going to all die and it's not going to be there. And we may want something that's going to always be there, even if it's a perennial and needs to be redone every couple of years. But something that at least is always going to look green, even if it needs to be
I tried to
trimmed
get in
back.
touch with Richard Stowe, and he didn't get back to me.
Oh,
So I'll try Jenny Powell.
try Jenny. Yeah.
They can hear me. Oh, I'm sorry, people at home. Okay, Richard Stowe, if you're listening, get in touch with me. Jenny Powell, if you're listening, I need to contact you because I have a list of ones that I thought looked nice. That would be a nice variety. But like Ray was saying, we need something that's going to last a little longer than just one season. And I like the beach one, but I don't know. I tried growing it in my garden, it didn't grow very well. I'm not a Florida native person, so this means nothing to me.
Well, I think Jenny, if you can get in touch with her, would be a good resource.
I got it down. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say, like in our January meeting, we got a whole bunch of seeds from University of Florida, native flower seeds. So,
I guess.
if I have them, I have like packets.
No, I mean, I can't grow seeds.
Oh, you can't go seeds. Okay. We'll just put the seeds in the soil.
Yeah, very. When we get this, we need to figure out, maybe Ray and Ginny can help figure out where we're going to purchase this from.
Okay. And then we also got donations of pineapple plants. We want, if you're interested in those, that's also another possibility.
Are they pollinated?
The Japanese grew them here
I know.
in Florida. So.
I have them in my yard, and they actually.
But that's a
don't
question you
need
could
a lot of
ask David Maker or something like, would the city
They're
be
not
okay
Florida
with
native, so
No.
but if that's the
with
answer.
Florida?
I think they want us to stick with.
Florida native. Okay, that's fine.
They actually do last about water, so good. I will write down days through just so I can get back with him. Purchase them and have them ready for the 29th and 30th.
So the gardening stuff is on 20, and that's on our Facebook. So please join our Facebook. It's Tropical Ridge Neighborhood Association. If you want to be updated on things that are going on with Tropical Ridge, if you're wondering.
I'm curious, just the dynamics of having 2 hours on 2 different days versus 4 hours on one day.
Right. So when we did 4 hours, I noticed that after 2 hours, people got like tired and like hot in the sun or like sweaty and stuff. So I noticed that like every time we did the pickup, the cleanup, they didn't last the 4 hours. So I just figured we could do 2 and 2, and that way people could choose the days. And then that also for us, we don't have to stay there as long. So
Well,
we
you
set
really
up,
have a small core group
right.
that's kind of obligating them to 2 days instead of one. That's a lot.
They don't have to come for the 2 days. They can just come for one or either. It's volunteers, so
Sure.
so
Not me coming for 2 days, I'll be there until.
I'll be
just
there for
feel
2
like-
days.
I just feel like that's stretching thin
um,
when you don't really have a large group of dedicated volunteers.
don't worry, I'm recruiting soldiers.
Okay.
I have like at least 10 people just within my course, and that's not even counting like student volunteers. So I'm definitely going to get more than 30. That's the goal, I guess. But we had 30 last time, and that was just from the students alone. So, Wes Blackman's coming, Leah Gizzy's coming, Ronaldo Diaz is coming. People I don't even know are coming. I forgot their names. Dendrick, somebody named Dendrick. Sammy Makila's wife is coming. Satsu, her name is. I don't remember all the names off the top of my head, but there was a bunch of people that messaged me. So. And I think that 2 hours is like, you know, it can be kind of brutal out there for 4 hours.
So you're saying 2 hours at a time on 2 separate days?
Yeah, you don't have to come on both days. You can just come on one or the other.
One thought, if we get involved and it goes on to 3 hours, that we're not going to kick them out after 2 hours. We can let them stay a little longer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm flexible. So if we need to stay for 3 hours, I'm flexible. I just remember the last time when we did 4 hours, people kind of left after 2 hours. After 2 hours, they're like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to clean up anymore. So. Also, we have another cleanup. Do you want to talk about the ocean cleanup, Carolyn?
Yes,
So on Earth Day, April 22nd, you guys know that April 22nd is Earth Day? So Carolyn is going to talk about that. It's the ocean cleanup at Lake Worth Beach.
Sorry. Okay, I've been doing this since 2007. I used to do it with Highland Elementary, with an after-school group that I started over there called Community Spirit. And I wanted to get the kids involved in their community, there was a lot of kids who actually never went to the beach and never saw the ocean before we got there to clean up. So I thought it was a fantastic thing. So it got me energized. So even though I've retired for 11 years, I still get involved with. Now I'm involved with Bridges Mentoring. It's not Bridges, it's community. Oh, sorry, it is. Community partners, yes. Wonderful. I have a sheet and we had some more, but we can't find them.
Okay.
Right?
I will email you guys. If you wrote your email, you will get it.
Anyway, it's Saturday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day. And it's I'm going to be there from 8 till 12. This is, says 8:30 to 11. No, it's definitely from 8:30 to 11. Just the one day, just a Saturday. We will have refreshments. People who get there first will get a T-shirt. We have cleanup tools to borrow, and we do as much of the area as we can. It's not just the beach, it's the parking lot, it's Crucial Park, it's over the other side of A1A by the Intercoastal that we usually have.
Old Bridge or the south side?
We've gone to the old bridge. If we have a lot, I mean, one year I had 200 something people come. It's not going to be that many.
Yeah.
Since COVID, everything's downhill since COVID.
Yeah.
But it's getting more each year. So when we have a lot of people, we scatter them
Yeah.
all over the place. And yes, we've done the markets going on still.
Yes,
on the
that's
place.
great.
So yes, and the beaches by the market are always full of garbage. It's revolting. So yes, that's a great place to pick up. Maybe pass on some ideas to people who are there. Not, I know. But it'd be nice to see anybody who wants to be there is more than welcome. I think that's it.
What's the meeting area?
Oh, good point. Thank you. I wasn't prepared to do this. As you can tell. Okay, so the main walkway along the beach has what used to be designated as a children's little play area. It had a cover and some tables and chairs. Every year I go there and it's different. Because of COVID, they closed it down. They removed a lot of it. But it's going to be in the center of the walkway. It's not the one down by
Where the
Benny's.
little free library is located.
I believe so. Yes, you're right. It is. It's not down by Benny's. It's not up by whatever that's.
It's like across from the bathrooms.
Exactly.
Exactly, which is very handy. Yes. So everybody is welcome. We'll have order. We'll have odds and ends for people to eat. It's not going to be massive, but you get hot and tired. And you're extremely welcome. It's fun. We will have kids to mention. So there will be lots of kids there drinking good. And we also have sign up for community hours.
Yes.
Community service hours for high school, any school kids, but mostly high school that are interested. Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to add, Ray? Do you guys have any questions or anything you guys want to add?
Vice Mayor McVoy would like to join remotely.
Okay, so,
I'm trying to,
the city
Make arrangements.
commissioner, I don't know if you guys know Chris McVoy, but he represents us, right? Does he still represent us, or is that
Yes.
after the,
with that, the redistricting did not change it that.
okay. So Christopher McVoy represents us, so he's gonna be joining us online.
And I'm just trying
If you
to-
guys have any questions to Christopher McVoy, you guys can ask him what's going on with the city.
Is that about tomorrow night's meeting?
What tomorrow night's meeting? Oh, the commissioner meeting? You mean?
I know what you're talking
Yeah, there's a
about.
commission meeting tomorrow as well.
You mean the presentation?
Which presentation was that?
You know, living.
Let me know a little bit. Oh, okay. So I went to the meeting. Actually, you there too. And Ray and Karen. We went to a District 2 meeting. It was on
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, it was on Thursday. And so it's basically the city commissioners. They were up at the front and they were just kind of answering different questions. Some of the things that they brought up was, one of them was like the pool at the Ocean Ridge. That's gonna be one of them. Just that they're doing a study and I think they're still trying to figure that out. And I think there was questions about the Gulf Stream. Did they ask about the Gulf Stream Hotel or no?
Yes, and
Yeah.
they're still going strong. They've got to get all the plans, construction documents.
Okay, so, yeah, so she said they had to get the documents and the permits and all that stuff for Gulfstream, so that's still going strong in Gulfstream Hotel. Most people from our district, because there were people from outside of our districts that were concerned about the Gulfstream Hotel and pool, but within our district, I noticed that a lot of people were concerned about housing. So like, the rents were very high, and people just were homeless. So I can testify to that because I go to the SAC meetings at Lakewood Middle School, and at Lakewood Middle School currently they have the highest homeless student population at Lakewood Middle School. They're known as McKinney students, and so I just want to let you guys know that Lakewood Middle School, the assistant principal did say that she needed help, volunteers, they don't have a PTA or PTO. So I'm gonna meet with her tomorrow to start a parent organization to start the PTA or PTO at Lakewood Middle, and we're gonna talk about it. And she said she needed volunteers, just something like if somebody can come in, once a week or once a month to make copies for the teachers. She said that would be like a lot of help. They also need math tutors after school. Just like any kind of office work. If you're really want to make a change in Lakewood, they really need help. They do have 24 teacher vacancies, so they're looking for 24 teachers to fill those spots for next year. I know pre-engineering and math are the two that they really struggled this year to find. Like one of one of the dads said that his daughter joined Lakewood Middle School because of the pre-engineering program, but there was no pre-engineering teacher to run the program. And then he also said that his daughter didn't even have like a math teacher for like half of the year. And so they had to combine two classes, so there were like 40, 50 students for one math teacher because they couldn't find another math teacher. So I know pre-engineering and math is like really like the ones that they struggle with the most, but they also have other teacher vacancies. They also said that even if you don't speak Spanish, even if you don't speak English, they will hire you. They had a couple people who didn't speak English, and they were like some of the best workers, employees. So I know that's an issue. So I just want to bring that up to you guys. Also, so that's like Lakewood Middle School. Regarding the meeting, there was also an issue about the iguanas. So I guess one person had a lot of iguanas, and the city couldn't really do anything about it. I guess the iguanas were running over her, taking over her yard or her home or her trees.
Why can't they do anything about it?
I don't know. That's
They're-
a good question.
They're protected,
Oh, they're protected.
they're protected.
I know there's
Honestly, I thought they were invasive,
They are
Yes.
invasive, but,
but also protected.
Yeah.
Seems interesting.
and
Didn't know that's possible.
you cannot relocate them, right? You cannot catch them and relocate them to another area. They can be, killed with,
You may know more than I haven't heard that they're protected, but obviously there are certain guidelines
Right,
in
you can
how you would kill
kill
them or
right,
capture them.
Yeah, when I read the law about killing iguanas, it says you have to use a BB gun and you have to direct it at their head.
you can't be, I don't know.
It was very specific
I
in the
don't
law.
know the specifics.
So I was like, whoa,
I
that's
think
really.
back to your statement about the meeting, I didn't hear any city representative
Say
say
you
any
can't do
reason
anything about
why they couldn't
Right.
address it. It was just kind of dismissed.
Like
But
ceremony.
I have to wonder if the way it was presented, if it wasn't just more dismissed because it seemed like a private property issue.
Yeah.
I personally have never seen an iguana in my yard. I don't know that people are overrun with them in our area, so I don't know that it's a citywide problem.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to know.
My neighbor had an issue with raccoons, and he got a trapper. He got a trapper. He hired someone,
I think he just bought a trap now.
or he bought a trap. Sorry, and then he trapped the raccoon because the raccoon loves chlorine water, and he has a pool, and so he was able to trap that raccoon. And then I think he took it to wildlife or something. So, yeah, bush wildlife. So that's like one of the, but that was with the raccoon. That wasn't with iguanas. What was another issue that they talked about? So there's a business owner on G Street and Fifth Avenue, and she just said that there was like a lot of trash on the street, and that trash was it kind of bothered her a lot, and so that will be one of the areas. So I was listening, so that would be probably one of the areas. Someone did call for someone in the neighborhood called for a street sweeper to come by, in our neighborhood. So I have been seeing the street sweeper sweeping up the streets
Yeah.
all throughout Tropical Ridge neighborhood.
They come by on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know, two comments. One on G Street, and I mentioned this to you after the meeting, that this business owner has been involved on G Street for a very long time, and has really had a lot of issues there. This is in our neighborhood, and it's really somewhat of a big problem. Both on F Street that backs up to the tracks and
Right.
G Street that backs up to the tracks.
Yeah.
These are very industrial areas,
Yeah.
and probably not a great fit for a residential neighborhood at this point. Maybe they were certainly zoned that way because they're next to the tracks. But you know, where we are currently, it's either not great zoning or it's not regulated very well because it's really a bad area.
That location is specifically a CRA district, you know that?
So just to mention that on a bigger perspective,
Well,
it's a big problem area.
Parking's horrible because you can, basically get one car down the middle,
Yes, yes,
on a two-way street.
correct.
Um,
So bigger issues there, and I don't know why the city hasn't directed more attention to that, either making the road one way or being more restrictive with businesses that operate there.
that's,
At least more stop signs.
But
well, we should have a commissioner who's addressing issues like that.
it is for our neighborhood, and it is in our neighborhood. It's a bigger issue for those of us that don't live near that area. Maybe it's easy to not realize how bad it is, but it is really horrible. It is. For those that live very close and hear the businesses, hear the tow trucks, hear everything else going on, and deal with the trash and the overflowing dumpsters and things like that. It's really a big issue. It's not a pretty area for several reasons. It's not very conducive for residential. I was gonna throw in another comment. Didn't have to do with G Street, but it's the last thing you mentioned, and I forgot what it was. Sorry. We'll come back to it.
Okay. Tenth and G.
That's where they're putting all the,
That's what they're putting in the building.
what's big floors.
Lake Forest Village, I think it's called,
Over the station.
or maybe it's a station, Lake Forest Station.
That's what they call it, where you got bedrooms and everyone shares a bathroom and a.
No, that's the thing, that's communal living that they're talking about, in a
Two
presentation.
different things.
Two different things. Lake Forest
Where's
Station,
the communal living?
We're not zoned for that. We don't allow
it
it.
is something being brought forth, in a presentation to the city. 707 South 6th Street, near South Great Elementary.
So what are the ones that, because they're gonna be 5 stories tall.
One
The ones
bedroom,
that
two
can-
bedroom, and three bedroom.
They weren't very informative about what was going on at that meeting.
Where is Christmas Boy?
Yeah, he's there. He's just waiting for us to be ready. So are we ready to have a conversation with Commissioner McVoy?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
have that kind of living here anyway.
Well, we should.
Sorry, I thought. Are we ready to hear from Vice Mayor McVoy? Sure. Okay. Vice Mayor McVoy, we can hear you.
All right. Hi, everyone. I apologize that I'm not there. My stepdaughter got sick last night and this morning, and we are up in Palm Beach Gardens trying to help her out with various things. So we're doing it with technology, and I'm happy for any questions. I have one issue that I don't know if anybody in Tropical Ridge has raised a concern about, but I know a number of other people around the city have, and I can comment on that if that's helpful. Or if there are any issues that people have, perhaps they can ask questions or raise them.
I would say go ahead and comment on the issue that you were thinking of, and then also we're open to any comments you might have from your take from the forum.
Okay. The issue, I've received a number of calls. There's a presentation on the agenda for tomorrow night for the regular commission meeting, referring to micro communal housing units, I think, MCHUs. And it's both regarding, well, it's specifically, I guess, for a developer who owns 5 buildings on 6th Avenue South, 707 6th Avenue South, that are divided into apartments at the moment. This person is proposing to divide them much smaller into essentially bedrooms and shared kitchens and shared bathrooms. And the thought was that it would be a way to provide very affordable housing for a particular, for people who needed specifically that. It's only a presentation tomorrow. Nevertheless, people have been quite concerned because to make it possible, it would require, and I don't know the exact types of rule changes, but a number of things to land development regulations or comp plans or map usages, various things relating to zoning and planning. And I think a very legitimate concern is raised, well, if we were to do any of that, would that open all of the city up to this? And even the people in that neighborhood aren't very excited about it as a potential change there. So I put out a Facebook post midday today or early afternoon that don't panic yet, that certainly feel free to contact your commissioners about it. It's only a presentation at this point. There's no votes, there's no discussion, there's nothing in progress. But it's perfectly fine for people to weigh in, and people already have, that they're not keen on the idea. So that's one that's getting a lot of attention the last couple of days. And I'm happy, I don't know a whole lot more than that, but I'm happy to entertain any questions if people have any.
Thank you, Chris. This is Ray Lofton.
Hi, Ray.
So this type of living normally is used in specialized situations, maybe senior care or memory care facilities, things like that. Is there any type of special use that they're going for, or is this just for general rental use?
I don't know the answer to that, but the impression of what I've seen so far is more the latter, that just for general rental. And my thinking went along exactly or what I'm guessing is very similar lines, that something like this that was part of an organization that managed it and sort of an intentional community, and that there was some degree of some form of supervision or regulation or somebody living on site and rules, it might be useful, but it would have to have that. Just as a purely commercial thing, I don't think much of anybody's going to have confidence that it wouldn't, devolve into problems.
Right. Okay. Thank you. And I guess I would ask you about any takes from the forum, but if there are any questions so far from anybody else concerning specifically the presentation tomorrow.
Yeah, it sounds like something they took out of the gold rush days where guys came in, no women, and they had to live together. So, but I think if anything happens, the High Palm Beach Housing Authority is going to get involved. That would be up to us.
Yeah, I think what makes this one draw attention is this commission has definitely been very concerned about housing prices, rental situations in Lake Worth for the last year and a half, or 2 years, that everything has gone up a lot, and that at all income levels, it's very difficult to find something that people can work with. So there's an openness to different approaches, and I think that's on the whole healthy, but I think there are equally valid concerns from all sorts of different quarters that okay, if we're going to go a direction that's a little bit different than what we've done, let's make sure we're not getting into a lot of unintended consequences or things that we can't, that we Pandora's box sort of situation where we allow one developer to do something and then you get unscrupulous folks doing something else. And so I think anything that we did would have to get vetted very thoroughly before there'd be comfort level on the commission and in the community.
Understood. And obviously, this is not something new. You can go online and you can rent somebody's bedroom. But you're talking about something very different where the city is authorizing and regulating such a thing. This is...
And allowing a whole building to do that
right.
And a commercial developer, but without any, like what comes to mind for me is there's, I believe at this point, 3 Merkle houses in town run by the Lord's Place. And they have very specific missions, very specific programs in them, and the residents have to follow those, and there's a system in place if something goes awry. That's very different than what this developer is proposing.
Sure. And there are also liabilities that fall, many more liabilities that fall onto a landlord in that case, that the city isn't necessarily liable for, but people's personal safety, people's privacy. That's kind of a whole other issue as well that this opens up. But that really falls to the owner.
Yeah, and I think any of us who've been around Lake Worth for a while, if the owner is essentially the landlord, the history of landlords is a very mixed bag in Lake Worth, and there are good ones certainly, and there are not so good ones certainly, and very in between. So if we were to open up a new direction, we'd want to know very clearly what are the guardrails, what are the safeties that protect the surrounding neighborhoods and so on.
Sure.
Chris, this is Anna Maria.
Hi, Anna Maria.
Yeah, you might want to check out how youth hostels are run. I mean, I traveled all over with them. You have to be out. You don't get to sleep in. And you're in or you're locked out. So there are things that work in youth hostels, and those are volatile young people that like to party. So maybe you could check how they run their organization.
That's a very interesting idea, and I think fits sort of with the thought that, okay, we ought to be open to things that provide housing. Now, youth hostels are a little different because they're very temporary. People don't typically live there for months or years at a time. But the thought of something that has a structure and is run in some fashion like that and provides inexpensive housing, but with safeguards, I think is not crazy. But it would, a key piece of youth hostels is that there's management that is on site. They don't live there; they're there much of the time, and that would need to be something of that sort would need to be a part of it. I think, or at least need to be comfortable with it.
Right. Thank you. Anyone else?
It just occurred to me, even posadas down in Mexico do it that way. I know you're talking about non-transitory people, but if you put the stopgaps in there before you have a problem, then it could maybe. I'm not really in favor of it because I'm already living in a neighborhood that's doing that. But if you're going to even consider it, start looking at where they're doing it correctly. And a posada is one. Come in at a certain time. You want to be an ugly American and be drunk all night and come back and terrorize the neighborhood, you're out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think the concern, the need for a variety of different kinds of housing is real, And if we can do it in a way that is not a problem or a burden for the surrounding neighborhoods, I think we ought to be open to it. But it does need to have, something built in to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah, and I guess a more general comment would be, the city that I know operates a bit on their back heel, a bit reactive, and never doesn't really have the budget nor the staff to be a proactive city in its regulations. I'm not trying to be negative, just trying to maybe realistic. So to allow anything that has the potential to need more oversight and need more regulation and enforcement of rules and laws seems like maybe a poor direction.
Well, I would 100% agree that if the regulation and operation of it depended on the city, yeah, no, I don't see that as a starter at all.
No.
If it was some sort of, like when the Lord's Place runs Purple Center, I think the city involvement is essentially nil. The Lord's Place does the administration and operation and making sure the rules are followed and so on. If they were to turn that burden over to us, I think the city would have been the commission would have been very reluctant to approve them. And probably just would have outright said, no, we're not equipped, exactly as you say, we're not equipped to do that, and we're not about to get into that business.
Right.
Yeah, no, I would quite agree.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do we have any land that's on the periphery of our city that can accommodate something like that, but not into our actual neighborhoods?
Well, and sort of to go with your question, there are various cities around the country that have done something like that, where they look for an area and try to create either a micro housing, not so much it could be micro housing, or it could be, the tiny houses kind of things, and a collection of those, find a place for it and accommodate them. As far as whether Lake Worth has any land that could do that, the only thing that I could imagine would be in the Park of Commerce, and I don't know that we own any land in the Park of Commerce. I think it's pretty much all privately owned. I could be wrong about that, but and if I were to try to think about other areas that we own, maybe some of the stuff up near the Northwest Ball Fields, maybe there's some land there. I don't know.
Thank you, Chris. Any other thoughts on the District 2 forum, or any observations that you have?
It was very well attended. It was kindly Pastor Pierre Georges of the HPL Baptist Church made a quite large room available to us, not the main auditorium of the old Scottish Rites, but a room that I didn't know actually, but large. I would say substantially bigger than our city hall chambers, and it was pretty much full, I would say, and fair number of questions. There were still questions going by 8:10, 8:15, and at that point the city manager kind of felt like, okay, we probably ought to stick to our schedule 6 to 8, so we kind of wound up at that point. The idea of it, and I don't know that that was made all that clear, was that it doesn't really have anything specific to do with District 2. It is, or whatever district it's being held in. Sorry, I'm trying to fire up my phone. Sure doesn't die in the middle here. I guess I'm still pretty good. The idea was simply to have these on a quarterly basis as kind of a town hall, an opportunity for people to raise concerns, ask questions, very open-ended, and just move them around each district to make it a little easier for people in that district to get there, but people from anywhere in the city were welcome. I would say that on the whole, my sense was that there were people there from a number of different districts, so that was good.
Thank you for clarifying that. I actually kind of left the meeting with an odd sense that it was a District 2 meeting with a lot of questions and a lot of people that went from District 2, so I didn't quite understand that.
Yeah, I think that the city didn't do a very good job of clarifying. I didn't even know exactly a week before it. Is this something, do I have a responsibility? Do I have something should I be prepared to lead it or ask questions? And city manager said, no, it's a citywide forum. It just happens to be this time in District 2, which was helpful to clarify, but I wish I had known that a little earlier and could have publicized that a little better.
Okay, so the messaging wasn't quite as clear as it could have been.
Exactly,
Okay.
but it did attract people from District 2, but as well from outside. And there were, I wish I had my notes in front of me, but I don't. There were fairly wide range of issues that were brought up. And then some people wrote to me as emails, and they have written other commissioners too, I don't know, with some things which I need to summarize and get to the city manager so that she can distribute. I was going to offer to read them at the meeting, but there wasn't time, so I'll find some other way to get them to the other commissioners so that people are just aware of the comments. Trying to think if anybody else was there and happens to remember something, feel free to.
Well, certainly housing in general kind of dominated a lot of the conversation.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate. I mean, it's a big concern because housing prices have just gone astronomical a lot of places in the city, and that's a real concern as to can regular people, can teachers. I just talked to a teacher this past weekend who's been teaching in Palm Beach County for 24 years. Well, I'm not sure if it was all of Palm Beach County, some of it maybe elsewhere, but long-time teacher thinking of moving back to New Jersey because she can barely afford rent. And that was with the recent bond or whatever it was that the county passed that helped her out a little bit. And that's scary that people are in that situation.
Sure. And I appreciate the commission, being open to a lot of ideas. For those of us that live in single-family homes in single-family neighborhoods, it can be, a little discerning, and it can be a wake-up that we're in 2023, and we live in a very populated area, and as cities grow, these types of neighborhoods change, and the types of housing in them change. And no one's, you can't make everybody happy, but there are a lot of different, considerations to be able to change and evolve. So I appreciate at least the conversation to be able to involve everyone.
Yeah, and I think the commission, as you've probably seen from recent meetings, I can't remember when it was exactly, but within the last several months, that we talked about short-term rentals because a lot of people are very concerned about how those affect single-family neighborhoods, and then another set of people are concerned about how they affect housing prices and rental prices. And then other people are concerned about, but they generate income for the city, and then there's the whole extra complication on top of all of it that we have some degree of autonomy because we happen to have regulations in place before the state around 2011 took over, preempted a lot of our city choices, not just ours, but also for cities, and reduced home rule. We, because we're grandfathered in, as far as I understand, we have a little bit more control, but if we change things the wrong way, we will lose all of that control. And so we have a lot of severe pressures on us as a city and as a decision-making body of how best to deal with that for the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Doesn't have easy answers.
Sure. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to talk about a different topic, but once you guys are done.
Um,
So if you guys
no, I was probably getting into the weeds. So.
Okay. So, thank you, Chris McBoy, for your input and having engaging dialogue with us. Do you guys have any other questions? So, no?
Can we talk
So-
about the pool at Lakewood High?
Can we do which?
That's not on the table right now. I don't think.
Okay, so
That's something that Wes Blackman brought up, but that's something I want to talk about this before we leave. So our presenter for the summer camp scholarship program was not able to make it today. So I'm going to say this in English and then in Spanish. A la persona que tenía que presentar esta noche para la beca del summer camp, ella no podía venir hoy. Entonces, si ustedes tienen este papel, if you have this paper, if you can take it out, si me pueden sacar este papel. Hay uno en español y hay uno en inglés. Y hay uno en creole. Y entonces, este papel describe el proceso para aplicar para becas aquí en Palm Beach County, en el condado de Palm Beach. So this paper is going to tell you how to apply for a scholarship for a summer camp in Palm Beach County. Estas becas son para niños 5 a 7 de edad. So from ages 5 to 7. Se ofrecen becas completas de campamento de verano durante toda la temporada para niños. En el inglés de 5 al 17 la beca incluye todos los costos de inscripción y matrícula. Hay más de 100 campos para tus niños. So these scholarships, they're all throughout summer. They're from usually from 7:30 to 6. And there's about 100 camps that you can choose from. And it's free. But the thing is, the deadline is April 14th. It's a hard deadline. You cannot turn it in late. They will not accept it. Entonces, aceptan las aplicaciones hasta 14 de abril. Tú no puedes entregar esta aplicación tarde porque no van a aceptar. Y este beca es como por lo menos más de $500. ¿Sabes cómo summer camp es muy caro? You know how summer camp is really expensive for kids? So, especially the prices went up. So, I would definitely check this out. Padres, por favor, chequen ahí está, tú puedes aplicar en el internet, aquí, que está en azul, y dice www.pbcgov.com. Ahí, en el azul, es donde tú tienes que ir para aplicar en el internet. Okay, y ahí tienes las aplicaciones. Si ustedes necesitan ayuda para leerlo, aquí en azul tiene la oficina 50 Sur Military Trail. Aquí en esta dirección, la última que está aquí en azul. Ahí tú puedes ir a esa oficina y te pueden ayudar a aplicar en la computadora. Si ustedes tienen problemas, aplicar en la computadora, aquí en esta dirección. So here in this office, if you look here in the bottom blue, it tells you it's 50 South Military Trail, Suite 203. If you're having a difficult time applying for summer camp online, you can come to this office from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they'll help you. If you can't go to their office, you can call them. Their phone number is 561-242-5713. El número de teléfono es 561-242-5713. Y entonces aquí está la oficina si ustedes tienen problemas de aplicar en la computadora. Pero aquí está la dirección donde ustedes pueden aplicar. Y tiene diferentes tipos de campos. Tiene de baile, tiene de ciencia, tiene de diferentes deportes. Entonces todos estos campos están especializados en cada cosa. Y también tiene campamentos para programas para los niños también como en la escuela, para, para matemáticas, inglés. Y también tienen programas general. También le llevan en field trips, le llevan a diferentes lugares como las películas, parques, le llevan a diferentes lugares a los niños para que también tienen por lo menos un poco de divertirse, ¿sabes? Y entonces yo lo sugiero mucho que ustedes aplican aquí porque va a ahorrar mucho dinero, especialmente si estás pagando para alguien cuidar a los niños. Usted sabe cómo es caro eso. So you know how babysitters are really expensive. These are not babysitters, but they are enrichment programs for your kids, and they will teach your kids different things. Like they have a STEM program, they have dancing, theater, different sports. So each of these camps like specialize in different things. So you just have to choose out of the 100 camps which one you want. But hay más de 100 campos, hay programas para los niños y tú puedes escoger cuál tú quieres. Entonces, muy, 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 muy bueno. Y ustedes también inscribieron en las clases de natación. So you guys signed up for swim lessons last month. So, y esos, si ustedes quieren saber, hay un número de teléfono que ustedes pueden llamar a Ana. Es que abrieron esa aplicación en abril y en abril empezaron a tomar aplicaciones. Ustedes aplicaron muy, muy temprano en marzo. Y entonces, eso es muy bueno porque eso se acaba muy rápido. So you guys applied back in March, right? The swim lesson vouchers, there was like, we have at least 40 children and seniors from this area signed up for free swim lessons. Barton Elementary also signed up. They got a whole bunch of people there. So we got 20 from this meeting and then another 20 from Barton Elementary. And then we also got seniors that signed up and parents. So también, también los jubilados y los niños y los padres también están aplicando para clases de natación. Y eso es súper, súper buenísimo. Por lo menos tenemos 40 personas.
Just turn the volume down.
Tenemos por lo menos 40 personas, a niños y adultos que inscribieron para estas clases de natación, que es súper, súper chévere. So it's really awesome that, at least 40 people from this area signed up for swim lesson. And they have a couple of swimming pools here in Lake Worth. They have the one next to Palm Beach Community College, Palm Beach College. Hay una piscina cerca de Palm Beach State College que es público y también hacen clases de natación, y hay otro que está en John I. Leonard High School, la escuela secundaria de John I. Leonard. So there's another swimming pool they're going to open up at John I. Leonard High School, y hay otro que está en Palm Beach, West Palm Beach Lightel Pool. Y hay otra piscina que se llama Lightel, y esa piscina también tiene clases de natación. Ustedes pueden escoger cuando llegan esos swim lesson vouchers. Cuando llegan en tu correo, cuando llegan las clases de natación, ustedes pueden escoger cuál piscina tú quieres inscribir a tus niños. También el YMCA, yo sé que hacen. So when you get those swim lesson vouchers in your mail for your children or for yourself, for the parents, then you can choose which pool you want to do the swim lesson. They have over 30 pools. And there's 2 of them in Lakewood. So, si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta sobre este summer camp,
Is this
es un programa buenísimo.
Is this available on the internet? Because I can't read this.
Do you? So I have one in English, and I have one in Spanish. Do you have the Spanish one?
I have the English one, it's just so small.
Your reading glasses?
Yes.
Oh, you need reading glasses? Es muy importante para tener esos lentes para leer o no pueden leer esto porque son un poquito, las letras aquí están un poquito pequeños. So it's good to have your reading glasses because these letters are a little bit small. Sorry, I didn't make this flyer. Children's Services Council did. I'm just passing it out to you guys. Yo no hice este papel. El Children's Services Council hicieron este. Pero súper genial. Ok, ¿ustedes tienen alguna pregunta? De cualquier cosa? You guys have any questions about anything? So, we're going to end this meeting. So, if that's okay. Alright. So, alright. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Sí. Y este programa le sirve para depende si ese programa está en la yo no sé cuáles fueron los opciones. Ella apenas va a entrar a kindergarten, van a hacer el escuela, una escuela que estoy pagando 25. Esto es solamente para el verano. Junio, mayo,
and 10 by 12 for 2 people.
pero cuando aplicas, tú puedes escoger el programa de Okay, bye, Andrea. Thank you for coming, Andrea.
No se me vayan bien, niña.
Tú puedes escoger cuál programa en este es de funciona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We came last time and we signed up for it.
Sylvia, this doesn't end the broadcast. Just so you know. All right. Thank you for joining us. We are signing out now. Have a good night.